Live. Good afternoon. It is Monday, October 16th. The time is 4:15 p.m. I'd like to call to order the October 16th meeting of the Norwalk Board of Police Commissioners. We have a quorum with Commissioner Tony Lopez, Commissioner Fran Collier-Clemens. First item on the agenda, approval of the minutes of September 18th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Moved by Commissioner Lopez. Are there any corrections, deletions, omissions?
There's a correction to the correction of
Okay.
of the
All right.
minutes of August the 21st. On the first page of the minutes, it says on page 4, paragraph change lieutenant, which was misspelled, to lieutenant, which is still misspelled. How can we get that corrected? It's Lieutenant.
And what page is this?
This is on. This is.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Page 1.
I'll take care of that.
Yeah, we'll just have to change that and make a new note. Any other corrections, deletions, or omissions?
No,
I have
no
none.
others.
So all in favor of approving the minutes as corrected?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor? I'm sorry, all opposed? And there's no abstentions. Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda, public comment. Is there anybody online or on Zoom wishing to address the police commission?
There is not, Mayor.
Thank you. Close public comment. Now, the next item on the agenda, September Officer of the Month, Officer Anthony Del Pino. Chief?
Yes, Mayor. Honored to inform the Police Commission for September 2023. Officer Anthony Del Pino was named Officer of the Month for September. He was awarded Officer of the Month for his investigation and subsequent apprehension of 5 individuals who were operating a drug factory within the residence of Norwalk. Officer Del Pino showed great professionalism and great investigative skills in the exceptional work which culminated on September 26, 2023 with the seizure of a large quantity of contraband and 2 semi-automatic handguns. Lieutenant Mark Lepore nominated Officer Anthony Del Pino for Officer of the Month for his investigation that led to the search warrants and significant seizures. Officer Del Pino is currently assigned to the Special Services Division. He self-initiated the investigation, which lasted well over a month. Officer Del Pino received information via confidential source that illegal narcotics trafficking was occurring at 21 Osborne Avenue. Officer Del Pino utilized numerous investigative techniques, which included hours of physical surveillance, and was able to secure a search and seizure warrant for the residence. It was determined that the suspects of this investigation were known to carry firearms and were suspects in other crimes within the city. On September 26, when the warrant was executed, the 5 suspects were caught in the act operating a drug factory with over 500 grams of cocaine and other illicit contraband. 2 handguns were also located, one being determined to be converted to fully automatic with an extended high-capacity magazine. All suspects were taken into custody swiftly with no incidents in a very dangerous situation for all the participating officers. I wholeheartedly concur with Lieutenant Lepore's nomination of Officer Del Pino for September Officer of the Month. Due to his efforts, a large quantity of narcotics was seized, 2 handguns were taken off the street, and 5 individuals were taken into custody who were engaged in narcotic selling and trafficking.
Excellent. I see Officer Del Pino is with us. Officer Del Pino, the work is remarkable. It sometimes gets very challenging to do a comprehensive investigation of an operation such as this, but your diligence and persistence really paid off. And as a result, drugs were taken off the street and 2 very dangerous weapons were taken off the street. And more importantly, 5 people were held accountable for their actions. So I want to congratulate you on behalf of the city of Norwalk. And commissioners, any?
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely want to commend Officer Del Pino also for a job well done. I think we're a lot safer for it. And so it's really appreciate the effort and self-initiative that you took upon yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Delpino, for your self-initialization of this lead that you got, and your persistence, and your analysis, and putting all the pieces together to bring these suspects into custody and remove the drugs and the handguns. You've made our city a safer place. We thank you so much for your work.
Thank you so much. It was a team effort between us and supervisors and the TRT. It all went well.
Thank you. I'm so glad.
Again, thank you, Officer Delpino, and good luck. And it seems like you're in the right position. So,
Thank you.
okay.
much.
Next item, patrol staffing, operations, Deputy Chief Blake.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. For September 2023, we finished the month with 182 sworn personnel. That means we had no patrol officer vacancies. 149 sick days were used, and 88 days of workman's compensation days for sworn personnel. We still have 3 officers on long-term injury. For September 2023, our Detective Bureau opened 50 cases. They arrested 2 suspects involved in a stabbing on Burnell Boulevard. They investigated a shooting at 261 Ely Avenue, where 3 victims sustained gunshot wounds. Suspect was arrested for a domestic violence electronic stalking case. Overall, it was a relatively busy month. 1 commercial burglary, 1 residential burglary, 1 motor vehicle burglary, 8 larcenies, 2 serious assaults, 2 shootings with victims, 1 shooting without a victim, 5 death investigations, 1 sex assault, 1 overdose, no homicides. Special Services opened up 35 cases in September. They arrested a subject that was wanted on 10 failure to appear warrants. They also executed a search warrant on Osborne Avenue, which you just heard about, was Officer Delpino's case. Special Victims Unit opened up 52 cases in September. At least 3/4 of those has to do with our school resource officers. They arrested a suspect on a sexual assault 4th and risk of injury warrant regarding an assault that had occurred 7 years ago. A suspect was extradited from Rhode Island and charged with domestic violence, threatening, stalking, and harassment. We had 393 total arrests in September, and we had 6,081 patrol division calls for September, broken down by platoon. The day shift, or 2nd platoon, remains our busiest shift. In our SC report, we had 607 total infractions, summonses, and written warnings, verbal warnings issued for the month.
Do we have any special grants coming up for stop sign violations?
We have obviously the traffic unit out there. We have been having additional officers using our JAG funding, additional officers out there targeting areas of traffic light, control signal, speeding enforcement, and then distracted driving, I believe, is coming up in this fall.
Because I see a lot of people, they don't even slow down at the stop sign. They just,
Yep,
keep going.
Driving behaviors are certainly not what they used to be.
No.
Deputy Chief, I have a question. So on the figures that you cited for September, seems to be quite a drop, of course, from August. And partially, I think mostly due to the traveling too fast I see there, and stop sign. Anything that you can corroborate in terms of?
Yes, July and August, we had a substantial amount of grant funding. So officers working almost around the clock, almost every day we had additional officers on the road based on this federal funding to be conducting speed and aggressive driving enforcement. And the statistics are due to that increased overtime.
Got it.
And for the commissioner's knowledge, our infraction and our citation activity is up close to 300% at this point compared to last year. If you just look at the data,
Great.
our activity,
Thank you.
we can't we can't put enough out there, as you can tell by the driving behaviors, but the enforcement and the stops is definitely attempting to slow that down.
Any further questions of Deputy Chief Blake?
No, I have no
I have
more
none.
questions. Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to Community Affairs, Deputy Chief Dinho.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, thank you. So for the Community Police Services Division, the major events for September were the Stu Leonard's Touch-A-Truck, the Child Safety Seat installation, which was at the parking lot of City Hall, the Kids Fun Day at Ryan Park, which combined a backpack giveaway, a book giveaway, and a relay race, the Hispanic Heritage Celebration event at the Sono Library, and there was a collaborative effort with the Connecticut Department of Transportation Railroad Crossing Safety on Commerce Street, which not that long ago we had a fatality there with a motor vehicle at an MVA with a train at the crossing. So these events went very well, and they're generally the Touch-A-Truck and the child safety events, they're very well received by the community. And then our traffic unit for September, they had a total of 264 motor vehicle stops. And we selective enforcement locations. I put down the top several in town that received the most activity. This would be Winfield Street, East Avenue at Sunset Hill, Van Buren at Spring Hill, Fort Point at Van Zandt, Rampart Road, and County Street. The main complaint that we get from County Street is the stop sign violation there, which we receive on a regular basis, so we frequently deploy our traffic unit there. These hotspots, we choose these locations as a combination from complaints received from the public and in combination with traffic crash data information that we received from UConn, their crash data repository. And moving on to the behavioral health unit, they opened 45 cases in September. They addressed 57 and they closed 23. They received 1 case from an outside agency and 28 cases from inside the police department of several divisions. For training for the month of September was a very heavy, intensive month for training. A lot of it was the new tasers that we have at the department were issued out and received training with those, as they are different. And all but 17 officers have received training and new issued taser. There are also several other training, CPR, emergency services units, medical responders, and some field sobriety testing for DUI enforcement. In the packet that you should have received, you will see a printout of all the officers that received training. It's not in the same format as last month. I apologize. We are changing over to software, and we're working with the vendor to come up with a more comprehensive report that we can provide to you, as we did in the past with our older software. Thank you.
Any questions from the commissioners?
We're not gonna always get this particular report in this form. This is just temporary, right?
Yes, ma'am. This is just
Okay.
temporary. My apologies. The
Thank
new
you.
software vendor is going to be, we're working with them to get a more comprehensive report.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Cummings, we went to a First Cert program, so it's online with Post Academy. So whenever the officer takes a course, he scans a QR code and the credits automatically get credited to his review cycle. So we don't have to file paperwork anymore. So this is a major efficiency thing that we went to last year. And the only really hiccup is that the report that they generate for us comes in a different format. But overall, it's a much of an improved system due to the fact that
Oh, that sounds more efficient.
yeah. So all the officers have to scan the QR code and you get credit for the course.
That's great.
Any further questions? Okay, now we go to the administration report, Deputy Chief Lepore.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. With the administrative report under our grants that we were just speaking about, the reporting period that ended for September 30th was for DUI, our Bulletproof Vest Grant Partnership, our DRE, Project Safe Neighborhoods, Distracted Driver, Speed and Aggressive Driving. So those all had to be reported. That was their year end, September 30th, and then we applied and we get the new grants that would start for October 1st, or actually October 31st, they come in. So there's a month, like a 30-day gap there, but we'll be getting those in. Staff inspections were for the Marine Unit and the headquarters divisions were conducted. Headquarters division consisted of the court officer, animal control, holding facility, complaint bureau, and maintenance. Those were all done.
Personally, you do those inspections or?
Lieutenant Ronzinski does those inspections.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And they're held on a regular basis. So like the Marine unit got inspected. Now they might not do it for another 6 months or next.
Probably another year. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are
Good.
all the divisions within the department are on a rotating basis. So every certain amount of months we have them staggered out, and what they do is go and inspect it on their certain month every year on the rotation.
And that's a requirement of accreditation.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Okay. For the crime scene unit, they fingerprinted 99 people, 22 of which were for pistol permits. The other one were for miscellaneous, whether they're teachers or other miscellaneous reasons. They created 15 DVDs cases for FOI or for court. They processed 14 pieces of evidence for 14 different cases, and they had 87 patrol cases where cameras were utilized out in the field, and they did downloads and they made copies of those for all those cases for patrol investigations. Professional standards and accreditation, you had the body and dashboard cameras here. So the body cameras are all distributed to everybody. Patrol and Detective Bureau was completed this week or last week. Training was that included the training and the issuing of all the hardware. And then they also had 31 new requests for video evidence from either lawyers or court or insurance for FOI requests for body and dashboard camera videos. The Deputy Chief Dinho gave you the Taser 7 update. So those are just about out of our office and into the training. And Lieutenant Kalmanides, our new accreditation supervisor, completed his accreditation training for the month. That is all.
Good. All
Excellent.
comprehensive reports. A lot of
Yes,
information happening in the department.
A lot of changes for the better policing.
Any further comments or questions of Deputy Chief Lepore or Deputy Chief Dinho or Deputy Chief Blake? Okay, so we'll move on now. Chief, the personnel matters.
Yes, Officer Mark Suda Jr. has applied for notice of election to the drop plan beginning on December 1st, 2023 and ending on November 30th, 2028. I have reviewed all the paperwork, the financial paperwork prepared by Mr. Dosmo, and it appears that it is in order.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners?
I have none, Mayor.
I have none.
Okay, all in, will you need to move that forward, the item?
I move the drop plan for Officer Mark Suda Jr. For 5 years, beginning December 1, 2023, and ending in November 30th, 2028.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Next item, we need to move forward, course approval. Master's degree for Officer Benjamin Kos.
Yes, Officer Coase has applied to begin his master's degree. I do not have the paperwork here because it's missing from the package. But hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on. Deputy Chief Blake, do you have that in your package?
I'm sorry?
I do. I just have these, he's requesting. He currently has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice, and he is looking to get a master's of business administration with a concentration in cybersecurity from the University of New York at Albany. He's requested 4 classes: international business, intro to information, advanced Excel, and database management. It is signed off on, and based on the information, it appears to be in order.
So essentially, we're approving the master's program as well as the 4 courses. Is that correct?
Yes, I found it. It was in the financial paperwork here.
Yep.
Bachelor's degree criminal justice with a minor in intelligence analysis. Yes.
Okay.
And then we're also for masters, like as Deputy Chief Blake said, Master of Business Administration with a concentration in cybersecurity.
Okay, so we need that move forward for
Yes.
approval.
I move the application for course approval for Benjamin Coase for Masters of Business degree with the proposed courses.
Okay, any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next item on the agenda, complimentary letters, Chief.
Yes, a resident had written me an email for Officer Gwynn, who just graduated the academy and is field training probably 60 to 90 days ago. He's on the road solo. He was assigned to a construction project on Morgan Avenue. When she approached requesting assistance with a task that wasn't explicitly on his job description, although maybe in the most general of ways, I had recently relocated from out of state to a new home on Morgan Avenue and was transitioning my vehicle to Connecticut credentials and encountered difficulty removing the license plate. Due to arthritis, Officer Wynn was receptive and even listed the assistance of the construction crew to locate a more adequate tool to get the job done. And she was most appreciative for his efforts while he was out there on a dirt job. He assisted the resident in changing the license plates to Connecticut license. And good effort from Officer Gwen, who's a very good officer.
Very impressive. It's good public relations, built the relations of the department with that one simple move. Any comments from the commissioners?
Yeah, I think that's wonderful that he, and you can say lended a hand when it was most needed. And so I think that's welcomed by the community. And it sends good warm vibes about that.
Yes, and the second letter, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say officers, have within their authority to, make decisions that are not letter perfect. It's not described in their description and in the job description. And it goes a long way in improving the relationship between their citizens and the perception that they have of the police officers in our department. So thank you, Officer Wynn.
Yes, and the second one was a letter sent to 2nd Platoon Commander Lieutenant Garrett Kruger. Dr. Safavi wrote a letter in regard to a positive interaction he had with officer in our department, Officer Tiffany Ortiz. He is a psychiatrist at the VA hospital, and he had called in a wellness check on one of his elderly veterans. Officer Ortiz was dispatched and called me to follow up on the findings during the check. After we spoke, she went back to make sure she had been thorough and asked him some more follow-up questions. He had not requested this, but did this on her own because she wanted to make sure she had done the job right. She offered him support by leaving a number for him where she could be reached should he have any issues. She then called me back with further information about the issue at hand. He was extremely thankful for her responsiveness, kindness, and dedication. He said, we are lucky to be able to collaborate with officers like her and, of course, to have such officers in our communities. Thank you.
Another good example of just going that little extra step. And it really is much appreciated, not only by the public, but certainly by the police commission, and I know the department as well. Commissioners, any further comments or?
No, I just appreciate the public writing and just given their experience with extra acts that police officers have done that are not strictly, letter or what their duty is, and to make sure that the citizens are okay. Kindness, dedication, and responsiveness.
I agree. The kindness doesn't go unnoticed by the community.
No, it doesn't.
And our thanks to Officer Le Guin and Officer
Ortiz.
Ortiz. There's no other items on the agenda. Next meeting is November 20th, 2023 at 4:15. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Well, just before that, I'd just like to say that kindness starts at the top, and Chief Walsh was awarded the Be Kind Award from the NAACP on last Friday night. So it trickles down to the officer on the beat. Congratulations, Chief. I know you were really surprised, but we couldn't think of anybody better than you.
Thank you. Thank you for the recognition, Mr. Clemens.
Yes, that was
Congratulations, Chief.
Thank you very much.
a good recognition, well deserved.
Thank
you. Okay, now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 4:41. Thank you all.
All right.
Okay, we